Now this is Zombie Wolf at the schoolhouse.
So this is the story of Tina and the Murderers. It was about 1990. I was going through a divorce. I was living in a bigger town in Maryland in a rented apartment on the third floor of a corner building in an interesting neighborhood where on the one side you had gentrified houses with little boot scrapers by their doors, and on the other corner you had people getting arrested for DUI and being given drug tests on the sidewalk. And I wound up renting one of the rooms of the apartment to a young woman with whom I had no romantic relationship. Yeah, that's a whole other story. And for a few months I rented her a room, and one day I came home from work and she was standing on the sidewalk outside talking to these two guys. So I walked up and I talked to them for a couple minutes, and I was like, well, I'm going up. Are you all coming up? And she and they were like, yeah, we're coming up. And so we all went up to the apartment and sat down, and right away they wanted to get high, and I think I had just the tiniest bit of weed. I was like, fine, we'll get you high. So we start smoking a bowl, and these two guys, and they were about 30-ish, as was I, and they say, yeah, he's my buddy here. He's like, well, he's on the run right now. We were in Texas last week, and he killed these 3 Mexicans. And the buddy wasn't even much paying attention, but he kind of looked over and, yeah. And he's like, they asked for it. I'm like, oh, this is great. And so then they wanted to know if we had any liquor, which I actually did, and that was a problem too, because I had 2 shots of Jim Beam, so of course they did that. And then they wanted more, but I didn't have any more, so I figured that was maybe good. In the meantime, Tina wasn't saying much, and anyway, eventually Tina goes in the bathroom, and this guy leans over, he's like, are you doing her? I was like, no, I'm not. And he's like, I'm gonna. And I was like, okay. Then he breaks out his crack pipe. And he goes over by the window, he squats down, he opens the window, starts yelling at some guy on the street who's yelling back. They're having a conversation, they're yelling at each other, as he's taking massive hits off the crack pipe in my apartment, blowing it out the window. And he's not sharing that with anybody, not that anybody was probably interested. I don't know about his friend maybe, but he's sitting there. He does 8 or 9 tokes of crack, and I don't know much about crack, but I know that's a lot. And he's turning red in the face, and finally he just gets up because his friend's like, we need to go. And he's like, yeah, okay, let's go. So they leave. And Tina looks at me, she's like, why the hell did you invite them up here? I'm like, weren't they your friends? She's like, no, I didn't know them at all. They just walked up to me on the street, and then you invite them into the apartment. I'm like, oh, great. Well, let me just so you know, for safety's sake, they did say they are going to do you. She's like, oh, hell. But when they left, they said, we'll see you tomorrow night. So I'm like, oh, okay. Now, how do you deal with this, right? So I got my friend Clark. He's a big guy. He was in the Army, too. I told him the story. He's like, that whole story about killing the Mexicans, it's not about whether it's true. It's just like they were doing that to intimidate you. And he agreed to come over with me after work so he'd hang out and be there when they showed up. And he did. He was a great guy. He came over, a real quiet, peaceful guy, but I wouldn't mess with him. And he came over. And Tina was there too, and she also had heard them say they were coming back, but she was there, and we were hanging out, and sure enough, here's a knock on the door. And before Clark or I could move, Tina jumped up, went to the door, threw it open, and laid into those guys. She's like, you're going to fuck who? You're going to fuck who? The fuck you are. Get the fuck out of my face. I will fuck you before you get near me. You get the fuck out of here. Don't you ever fucking come back. She chased him all the way down the stairs, I think, to the first floor. And they never came back.